Because MDR-TB is everywhere in India.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, there have been a number of surveys that are done in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, etc. All of them show that you have about 2 to 3% MDR-TB in the new patients and 12 to 17% MDR-TB prevalence amongst people who had prior treatment. So MDR-TB has been known for many years. It exists and it is there everywhere. Now what we have begun to see are cases of XDR tuberculosis or extensively drug-resistant TB. In addition to developing resistance to INH and rifampin, these strains also develop resistance to the fluoroquinolones like moxifloxacin or ofloxacin and the injectable antibiotics like kanamycin, streptomycin, etc. So these are called XDR TB strains. And subsequently, these strains can develop resistance to more and more drugs. So we have seen in our clinic also patients who have resistance to 5, 6, 7 drugs. So this is a problem that has been existing for a long time, but it's now being recognized more because the methods to detect the drug resistance, both phenotypic and genotypic methods, have been developed only in the last few years. So that is the reason why there is now some recognition given to these strains. They have been there for a long time. So in terms of pharmacokinetics and pharmacogenetics, we've looked at a couple of issues. The first is looking at the pharmacokinetics of the first line and second line anti-TB drugs in the population in India, both in adults and children. And we have found that in children that the drug levels really vary a lot with age. And the younger the child, the more rapid the metabolism and therefore higher the risk for having low blood levels, particularly of rifampicin. This is also related to their genetic status because the genes that metabolize or the enzymes that metabolize isoniazid and rifampicin, there's a genetic polymorphism that occurs in those enzymes. So if you are a particular genotype, you will metabolize the drug much faster. And if you have another genotype, you will metabolize the drug slower. That again affects the drug levels in your blood and it therefore may affect the treatment efficacy of that regimen. So it's important actually to understand this at a population level so that we can prescribe drugs more appropriately to certain groups of patients. We have been working for quite some time on HIV infected TB patients because we know that these people have a higher mortality, they have a worse outcome when they develop TB. One of the reasons we have found is that again the drug levels are lower in HIV infected people, possibly because of malabsorption. So we've also looked at drug interactions between the drugs that are used to treat HIV and TB. And there again there are a lot of important drug interactions that need to be kept in mind when one are prescribing drugs. So now what we're doing is we're going more into the area of genetics. That was not a big emphasis earlier, but we have realized that pharmacogenetics is important and can affect the treatment response. So in the next few years we'll focus more on that.